Great. So as people are joining, I will give everyone a couple more minutes, but I just want to welcome you to the 2023 MSTP Virtual Convocation. And we are so excited to have this opportunity to celebrate our graduating MD PhD students. This is one of the only good things that came out of the pandemic was an opportunity to reimagine the way that we celebrate our dual degree graduates. And so, given the virtual platform, it allows us to welcome loved ones from near and far, members of our community, little people who can join us with no barriers based on geography to be able to celebrate. So, we're really excited for everyone to be here and to have this opportunity to celebrate. So I want to give you a little run of show for what to expect. We're going to have a virtual watch party of this formal ceremony that will acknowledge and celebrate each of our graduates, talk about our program. Dr. Eric Nestler will be delivering our keynote address. And then during the ceremony, you can make liberal use of the chat. So please feel free to write all kinds of great things to your loved ones, classmates, mentors, mentees, anyone. And then during the program, after we introduce each of our graduates, you'll have an opportunity to unmute and scream and shout and clap. And then we'll finish up the program. And then after the formal program, don't sign off, because then everyone will have an opportunity to say some words, use the chat, unmute, and share your words of praise and enthusiasm. So we'll all be on mute for this until you get told that you can unmute. And hopefully you will enjoy this celebration as much as we all do. So with that, we will start the formal ceremony. It might take a moment, but I think that we are good. Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Talia Swartz. I'm director of the MD-PhD program at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai, senior associate dean for MD-PhD education, and associate professor in the Division of Infectious Diseases in the Department of Medicine. It's my proud honor to greet students, faculty, honored guests, relatives, and friends to the 2023 MD-PhD Convocation exercises of the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. This evening, we celebrate our amazing graduates who've navigated through completing their MD-PhD during the pandemic. Our students have received NIH grants, have published in high-impact journals, book chapters, have been plenary presentation speakers, patent holders, and have received dissertation and poster awards, all while serving the Mount Sinai community and the East Harlem community at large. They are engineers, scientists, clinicians, advocates, and humanists. You will hear all about them and the multifaceted ways that they are multi-talented. Each of these graduates is connected to a loving sphere of supporters who have stood by and been anticipating this moment for so long. To the families and loved ones of our graduates, we say congratulations to you. It's now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Ann and Joel Ehrenkrantz, Dean of the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai and President for Academic Affairs for the Mount Sinai Health System, to deliver the welcome remarks. Welcome, Dr. Charney.
Hello. First, I'd like to start by congratulating and acknowledging the leaders of our MD PhD program for doing just a terrific job in mentoring our students and providing a great curriculum and just being inspiring leaders. And of course, I want to congratulate our students who have done, just an amazing job as researchers. And what is really terrific is the diversity of the research that our students have been conducting. And I want to mention the science that they have been, working on. And it's really wide-ranging. It's wonderful. For example, tendon regeneration, computational biology, studying the acute and post-infection issues related to COVID-19, artificial intelligence and biomedical imaging, Alzheimer's disease, looking for new treatments for such a devastating illness. Lots of research on virology, both viruses that are common and those that are not common, but with the ultimate aim of coming up with better vaccines and better antiviral treatment. Cancer. We need better treatments for cancer, and our students are working on that. For example, ovarian cancer and colon cancer. You know, these are just examples of the kind of research that's happening with our MD PhD program. And to the students, you're the best and the brightest, and you're wonderful human beings. So what we hope is that throughout your career, you make a difference. Because if you don't do it, you know, who is going to do it? Our patients need you. We need you to make discoveries that change the lives of our patients. So good luck and have a wonderful career. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Charney. It's now my privilege to introduce our convocation speaker, who was overwhelmingly endorsed by our students, Dr. Eric Nestler, Dean for Academic and Scientific Affairs, Nash Family Professor of Neuroscience, and Director of the Friedman Brain Institute.
Thank you all for selecting me as your keynote speaker at this year's MSTP Convocation. It's a tremendous honor. When your program director, Talia Schwartz, gave me this wonderful news, I was preparing a large NIH grant application and panicked how I'd find the time to prepare this address. So Talia and I entered 500-word MD PhD graduation address in ChatGPT and got this. As we stand here today, we are living in a time of unprecedented progress in the field of medicine. Advances in genetics and genomics, as well as the ability to collect and analyze large amounts of data, have led to a new era of precision medicine. Not bad. It's even something that I might have said. But also standard pablum and soulless. A human brain is still so much better, richer, more personal than a computer. Pursuing an MD PhD program was the best professional decision of my life. But it was a long haul and it wasn't easy. I loved the first 2 years of medical school. Learning everything known about how a mammalian organism functions and what goes wrong in disease was fun for me, and it provided a foundation of knowledge that sticks with me today. The basic science curriculum of medical school is by far the best training for biomedical research, far better, IMHO, than the training our PhD students receive and gives we MD PhDs a leg up in our work. I had the opportunity to do 2 third-year clerkships before entering the lab and was excited to return to the lab where life was more flexible, I controlled my own schedule, and also far more intellectually challenging. But things did not go well for me during my first year in the lab. I'm not exaggerating when I say that I spent the entire year working long hours without having a single experiment yield positive data. Meanwhile, I saw my classmates looking and sounding more and more like real doctors as they progressed through their third-year clerkships, and I felt increasingly out of touch with them when we got together on evenings and weekends. I told my friends at the time that I felt like I got left back in kindergarten while everyone else was progressing to first grade and beyond. This was especially poignant on match day. And that sense of falling behind grew stronger over the next several years. At my 10th year college reunion, I was 32 years old, still a resident, while most of my college and med school classmates were making it big in medicine, law, or business, with big and fancy homes. My wife and I bought our first home a year later, which we afforded mainly thanks to her job, and it was not big or fancy. When we signed up for a home mortgage, the bank representative asked me how many years I was in school, starting with kindergarten and ending with when I finished training. When I said 33 minus 5, or 28 years in school, she and her fellow bankers said, "You were in school for how long?" and all had a good laugh on poor old Eric. Rewinding back to my PhD years, my PI was incredibly supportive and helped me gain the confidence that I needed to persevere. And in time, my experiments started to work, and I completed a PhD thesis of which I'm still very proud. It was harder than I expected it to be, and definitely nonlinear, with most positive data obtained in the latter year or two. But my PhD work gave me the training I needed and in many ways defined my scientific career ever since. After completing my third and fourth years of medical school, I chose psychiatry for residency training. I wanted to remain in neuroscience, the focus of my PhD, and I was intrigued during third year in meeting people with mental illness. What could possibly be going wrong in these people's brains to cause such severe behavioral disturbances in the face of all unremarkable laboratory tests, including brain imaging? What is the nature of this invisible pathology, I thought? That's what I set out to understand when I returned to the lab during the latter part of a research track residency, which was yet another transition to which we MD PhDs need to acclimate. And of all the transitions in my career, this one back to the lab from residency was by far the most difficult. I remember pouring a polyacrylamide gel as a third-year resident, and the gel didn't polymerize. I must have forgotten the catalyst. Now, I poured several thousand gels during my PhD and couldn't believe that I made that mistake. And I went through another period of getting negative data as I worked to establish a new experimental system, all while feeling increasing pressure to generate something innovative so that I could apply for grants and get a faculty appointment. A senior faculty colleague of mine at the time said to me, "I feel so sorry for you, Eric. You're doing great work, but the funding situation is so dire, I just don't think it's possible to be successful in academia anymore." What a horrible thing to say to a young colleague, and a good illustration of why old people should move aside to make way for young people to be creative and launch their careers. It's experiences like these that I think prompt many MD PhDs, far too many nationally, not to pursue academia or many other lines of work like industry or policy that utilize our combined training. By the time you're a senior resident, the path of least resistance is to become a full-time clinician, make more money, and not worry about generating original data or facing negative journal and grant reviews. Gosh, I am so thankful that I never seriously entertained doing anything different. I've had the most amazing career and life possible. I have never been bored. Every day that I come to work, I am challenged intellectually. I am as excited today by the science as I was 40 years ago, and even more impressed by the experimental tools that are currently available. The notion of optogenetic control of neural activity or single-cell RNA sequencing were not even in people's fantasies back then, yet today are routine. We can now define the precise contributions of individual molecules and cells to the functioning of brain circuits and to behavior in the context, in my lab, of drug addiction or depression. I cherish my career also for its social aspects. Being around young people keeps me young. I love paying forward the incredible mentoring that I had to my students and postdocs. And in the end, looking back, my trainees are the most important professional legacy of myself. Seeing so many past students and postdocs now being leaders in their fields with their own trainees is immensely gratifying. Years ago, in my 40s, at neighborhood gatherings on Sundays, fellow parents would complain about having to go to work the next day. Looking around, I was the only one who couldn't wait to get back to work, back to the lab, the science, and my trainees. Now, it was challenging to maintain a good work-life balance. Of course, that's true for any successful career. I often felt that I was shortchanging both, but I think that's exactly the right place to be. I was home for dinner with our children every night. I coached all 3 kids in soccer. I succeeded the best I could because I worked hard at doing both, work and family, and am fortunate to have an incredibly supportive wife. A support network of family and friends is essential. I found that pretty quickly, after starting a lab at age 33, my career more than caught up with my classmates. I no longer felt like I was left back, and I was able to more than catch up because of my MD PhD training. the ability to perform sophisticated basic research within a realistic clinical context, which is simply very hard for people without medical training to perfect, imbues us, all of us here today, with a unique ability to make meaningful advances in understanding biological systems in health and disease, and to advance those discoveries into diagnostic tests, new treatments, and ultimately cures and preventive measures. I am so excited for all of you as you complete your MD, PhD degrees at Mount Sinai and embark on the next phase of your careers. Your combined training is a gift that you've given yourselves because, despite the past and future challenges, it will create unparalleled opportunities to ask the most important questions that impact human health. The transitions ahead of you will be hard, but surrounding yourselves with supportive mentors and loved ones will allow you to persevere despite life's inevitable bumps in the road. The careers that now face you will be especially rewarding and gratifying if you follow your passions and pursue what is most inspiring to you. Thank you, and please keep in touch with us.
Thank you, Dr. Nestler. It is now time for the highly awaited portion of the program. It is time to introduce our celebrated graduates. These students, who have completed a rigorous combined program in which they have pursued training toward both a doctoral degree in medicine and in biomedical sciences. Students pursue their first 2 years of preclinical medical studies, followed by a research project which concludes with a dissertation defense. Students then return to complete their clinical training, and those who graduate go on to pursue advanced training that enables them to embark on physician-scientist careers. Our students are passionate clinicians, analytical thinkers, creative educators, and problem solvers. Each of our graduates has used their time at Mount Sinai to create, innovate, and enrich our community. It is my pleasure to introduce our MSTP leadership team who will introduce our graduating students. Dr. Clark, Dr. Raju, and Ms. Taylor will take turns introducing each graduate and invite each graduate to make brief remarks. The graduate will then be hooded by the individuals they have each designated. Please welcome Dr. Clark, Dr. Raju, and Ms. Taylor.
I'm Dr. Urena Clark. I am Medical Scientist Training Program Associate Director for Student Affairs and Enrichment at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai, and Associate Professor of Neurology.
I'm Dr. Praveen Raju. I am the Medical Scientist Training Program Associate Director for Program Development and Career Planning at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai, and an Associate Professor of Neurology.
And I'm Bianca Taylor, Medical Scientist Training Program Manager. It's a great honor to introduce our students. We ask you to hold your applause until the degrees have been virtually conferred, when you will then be invited to unmute. Please feel free to submit any comments and wishes in the chat.
Dr. Varun Arvind completed his PhD in the laboratory of Dr. Alice Huang. The title of his dissertation is The Role of Regulatory T Cells in Tendon Regeneration. Dr. Arvind is a committed educator, mentoring students in the laboratory and educating K through 12 students from low-resource communities in New York City. He leveraged his expertise in artificial intelligence to problem solve during the COVID-19 pandemic tracking infections. His long-term goal is to use his passion for problem solving and lifelong learning in a career as a surgeon scientist.
I'm so thankful for my time at Mount Sinai in the MD-PhD program. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my parents for their unwavering love and support. I'd especially like to thank my partner Neha, who was with me through all the highs and lows and has helped to keep me sane throughout the program. I've learned so much during these past 7 years and owe a lot to my mentors who have been instrumental in my growth. I'd like to thank my thesis advisor, Dr. Wang, for fostering my scientific curiosity, and Drs. Cho and Kim for their mentorship. Lastly, I'd like to thank my friends, especially James and Fred, who were with me from the original cohort and have gone through the program with me, and have always been there to vent or have fun. I'm incredibly thankful to the MD-PhD program at Mount Sinai and excited for the next chapter in my life.
Congratulations, Dr. Arvind. Dr. Kevin Boo completed his PhD in the laboratory of Dr. Jose Clemente. The title of his dissertation is Identifying Correlations Driven by Influential Observations in Large Data Sets. Dr. Abu has been committed to teaching computer science and statistics and enjoys serving the community through his work in singing a cappella to patients in the hospital. His long-term goal is to use his unique skill set in computational biology and medicine to teach the next generation.
This 8-year journey would not have been possible without the support of many people. I first want to thank my thesis advisor, Dr. Jose Clemente, for helping me grow and guiding me through difficult situations, both inside and outside the lab. I also want to extend my gratitude to my thesis committee, as well as professors with whom I taught, for nurturing the teacher side of me. Thank you as well to the MSTP community, mentors and classmates alike, for being so kind and inclusive. Finally, I want to thank my mom and dad. Without them, their hard work, and their support, I would not be who or where I am today.
Congratulations, Dr. Bu. Dr. Stephen Chen completed his PhD in the laboratories of Dr. Miriam Murad and Brian Brown. The title of his dissertation is Systemic and Local Innate Immune Dysfunction Drives Acute COVID-19 and Post-COVID-19 Syndrome. Dr. Chen has been deeply involved in education through service in the East Harlem Health Outreach Partnership and through teaching, tutoring, and mentoring students. His long-term goal as a physician-scientist is to care for cancer patients as a hematologist-oncologist and to use his training in immunology to inform cancer immune therapeutics.
First, I want to thank the MD PhD leadership for everything they have done to get us this far, for their mentorship and for their guidance. I want to thank my lab members and my research mentors, Dr. Brian Brown and Dr. Miriam Murad, for all their support and for being such amazing role models and mentors. Next, I want to thank my MD PhD class. I'm so proud of everything that you all have accomplished, and I'm so honored to have been on this journey with you. And last but not least, I want to thank my family and my friends for their love and support, and I could not have done this without you.
Congratulations, Dr. Chen. Dr. Fred Kwan completed his PhD in the laboratory of Anthony Costa with Dr. Eric Orman. The title of his dissertation is Methods for the Clinical Deployment of Machine Learning Algorithms. Dr. Kwan is an innovator and avid biodesigner, using his background in engineering and data analysis to create novel solutions. Dr. Kwan is passionate about creating access to underserved populations. His long-term goal is to use his analytic approach and artificial intelligence as a physician-scientist to improve the face of biomedical imaging.
I want to thank my mentors, Drs. Anthony Costa and Eric Orman, the classmates and leadership of the MSTP, and above all, my brother Albert and my sister-in-law Fanny, my parents, and my spouse Heidi.
Congratulations, Dr. Kwan. Dr. Ryan Neff completed his PhD in the laboratory of Dr. Bin Zhang. The title of his dissertation is Identifying and Modeling Multi-Omic Interactions Across Molecular Subtypes of Alzheimer's Disease. Dr. Neff has been committed to serving the institution by developing novel technologies that have improved the patient and student experience, including tracking COVID-19 cases and developing algorithms to streamline care in the East Harlem Health Outreach Partnership as the technology chair. His long-term goal is to use his unique background to innovate and improve patient care as a physician-scientist.
Some may say it really takes a village to train a future physician-scientist. So first, I would like to thank my mentor, Dr. Bin Zhang, who supported me throughout my thesis project in his lab and showed me tremendous encouragement and caring. Along with my thesis committee members, Dr. Sandra Houghton, Alison Goat, Tofik Raj, Dongming Kai, and Panos Russo, and Lee Gan from Weill Cornell Medicine. I also want to give thanks to both current and past members in the Multiscale Network Modeling Lab and the Dr. Quanlin Huang Lab at Mount Sinai. In addition, my success would not have been possible without the support of my MSTP academic advisors, Drs. Talia Swartz, Kara Bagot, MSTP leadership including Margaret Barron, Bianca Taylor, as well as my clinical mentors and supporters, Drs. George Dangus, Eric Barna, David Thomas, Valerie Parkas, Beverly Forsyth, Rainer Soriano, Lori Zabar, Alex Key, John Martins, and clinical advisor Rex Hermanson. I'd also like to thank so many of my classmates and friends within both the medical and graduate school, including my MSTP family and class of 2023, for being such an inspiration and kind to me throughout. Finally, I want to give a special thanks to my mom and my sister who have been by my side and my biggest advocates and confidants throughout my life and time at Mount Sinai, who I both owe so much to.
Congratulations, Dr. Knapp. Dr. Kashope Faluwa Oguntiyo completed his PhD in the laboratory of Dr. Ben-Hur Lee. The title of his dissertation is Dysfunctional Characterization and Neutralization of Henipavirus and SARS-CoV-2 Entry. Dr. Oguntiyo has been passionate about teaching in numerous courses and in supporting and mentoring medical school applicants, especially in the support of trainees who are underrepresented in science and medicine. His long-term goal is to utilize his unique background to improve the care, diagnostics, and treatment of patients as a physician-scientist.
I'd like to thank my immediate family, Dr. Jimmy Oguntiyo, Afalake, Shure, Fi, and Olumide, my partner, Chinonye Alma Otuwanye, and my extended family and friends for their support and encouragement over the years. I'd also like to say thank you to my dissertation advisor, Dr. Ben-Hur Lee, for his guidance, and my research colleagues and MSTP peers for making the journey more memorable over the last 8 years.
Congratulations, Dr. Oguntiyo. Dr. Jessica Tan completed her PhD in the laboratory of Dr. Florian Kramer. The title of her dissertation is Anti-Neuraminidase Antibodies as Potential Biopharmaceuticals for the Prevention and Treatment of Influenza. Dr. Tan has been deeply committed to education through numerous roles in teaching and tutoring, and is an advocate for diversity in medicine through leadership in women in MSTP and the American Physician Scientists Association. Her long-term goal is to use her background in science to innovate as a physician scientist.
I'd like to thank Florian Kramer, the Kramer Lab, the Microbiology Department, Viviana Simon, and the Personalized Virology Initiative team, and the MSTP, especially Talia Bianca, Women in MSTP, and the entering class of 2015. Thanks also to all of my colleagues, teachers throughout my education. To my friends and family, I cannot say enough to express my gratitude and appreciation for your love and support. 多謝你哋一直支持我，我終於畢業啦。
Congratulations, Dr. Tan. Dr. Yunshu Alice Wong completed her PhD in the laboratory of Dr. Bin Zhang. The title of her dissertation is Multiscale Network Analysis and Molecular Subtyping of High-Grade Serous Ovarian Cancer. Dr. Wong has recently leveraged her medical education to engage in translational research on bladder cancer. Dr. Wong has been committed to education by teaching anatomy and physiology to first-year medical students. She is a regionally ranked dog agility competitor. Her long-term goal is to leverage her unique background to improve care for patients as a surgeon-scientist.
First and foremost, I would like to say thank you to Bin Zhang, my thesis advisor. He guided my journey into computational research and has continued to support me even after completing the PhD program. I would also like to thank the MSTP staff and administrators and say a special thank you to Talia Swartz and Margaret Barron, who provided me with invaluable advice and assistance. I am extremely grateful for this experience, and it would not have been possible without all of your efforts. I would also like to thank my mentors, John Svakianos and Amir Horowitz, and their consistent investment in my career. They helped me discover my passion for urology and graciously donated their time and energy in my journey to becoming a urologist. Finally, I would like to thank my family, especially my husband Brandon, for their support and patience during this journey. I'm honored to be here today as a graduate of the Mount Sinai MSTP, and I wish my fellow classmates great success in their future endeavors.
Congratulations, Dr. Wang. Dr. Alan Zhang completed his PhD in the laboratory of Dr. Peter Palese. The title of his dissertation is Influenza Virus Vaccines, Enhancing Immunogenicity of the Viral Neuraminidase. Dr. Zhang has been committed to serving the community through the East Harlem Health Outreach Partnership. He has been committed to education through many years as a teaching assistant and through clinical work. His long-term goal is to use his unique training to develop novel therapeutic strategies as a surgeon scientist.
I am truly thankful to God, my two loving parents, my incredible wife, Davina, our friends and family, and all of my clinical and scientific mentors, especially my thesis advisor, Dr. Peter Palese. I would not be where I am without all of your love and support. Thank you.
Congratulations, Dr. Zhang. Dr. Royce Zhu completed his PhD in the laboratory of Dr. Raymond Parsons. The title of his dissertation is Cell Extrinsic Superenhancer Reprogramming at PDZ-K1P1 in Colon Cancer. Dr. Zhu has been committed to education for the entirety of his MD-PhD training, serving as a teaching assistant for courses within the medical school and graduate school. He is passionate about immigrant health, serving in multiple community outreach events to improve screening and access for underserved communities. His long-term goal is to become a physician scientist, studying the mechanisms of disease and improving care for his patients.
I want to thank my parents, first and foremost, for immigrating to this country to set up roots before sending for me when I was 4 years old. I want to thank Ulysses Rosa and Michael Perugnan for introducing me to bench science at NYU and the non-coding genome, which defined my research interest for years to come. I want to thank Eric Kendall and Eddie Griffin at Columbia for convincing me to do an MD-PhD program. And I want to thank Ramon Parsons for instilling independence and rigorous science in me during my thesis training. I wish to thank everyone previously mentioned again for their unwavering career and personal support and development, especially my parents, my grandparents who raised me, my partner Julie Rong, Jade Andrade, Talia Schwartz, as well as the rest of MSTP leadership.
Congratulations, Dr. Zhao. It is now my pleasure to virtually confer the degrees of MD and PhD on the MD-PhD class of 2023 of the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. Please join me in congratulating all of the degree recipients on this special occasion. You will all be unmuted to share your applause and congratulations. Okay, we can unmute now and we can applaud for a few minutes until we have another opportunity to unmute. So I'm the only one who is unmuted, but please feel free.
I am unmuted.
Congratulations.
Wonderful.
Okay,
Congratulations.
Fantastic.
Congratulations.
All of you, Dr. Guti, your congratulations. All the
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Amazing. Wonderful.
Hey, congrats. Congrats, Dr. Chapwe.
Keep
Very
your
proud of you.
congratulations, because we'll have more time at the end. So don't exhaust all your congratulations. Save them. Okay, thank you. I would now like to invite Dr. Marta Filazzola and Dr. David Muller to deliver the closing remarks. Dr. Marta Filazzola is Dean of the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences, Sharon and Frederick Nathan G. Case, MD, Professor of Pharmacological Sciences at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. Dr. David Muller is Dean for Medical Education, Marietta and Charles C. Morshan Chair of the Lenny and Peter W. May Department of Medical Education at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai.
As we come to the end of this celebration of your achievements, I want to offer my heartfelt congratulations to each and every one of you. The dedication and hard work that has brought you to this moment is truly admirable, and I have no doubt that the impact of your training will be felt for years to come. As MD PhDs, you have the unique ability to bridge the gap between the laboratory and the clinic, using your knowledge of basic science to inform your medical practice and bring the latest advances in treatment to your patients. But the impact of your work extends even further, as the discoveries you make have the potential to improve the health and well-being of people around the world. From developing new therapies for devastating diseases to advancing our understanding of the fundamental processes of life, your work has the power to change the course of human history. It is a heavy responsibility, but one that I have every confidence that you are more than capable of bearing. As you embark on your next phase of your career, remember the incredible opportunity you have to use your knowledge and skills to make a difference in the world. Congratulations on your graduation, and make your future in science and medicine be bright and impactful.
As we bring this beautiful event to a close, I want to add my congratulations and also add my thanks to all our students. Getting to the finish line in medical school is a remarkable achievement in and of itself. On top of that, each of you has contributed so much to supporting your peers, to improving our school and the MD-PhD program, and to society at large through your science, your clinical work, and your devotion to initiatives that are focused on justice, equity, and anti-oppression. You have shown us that at the core of everything we do must lie an unwavering desire to achieve the very best access and quality of care for all, and science that leads to advances that will benefit all patients and communities, regardless of race, socioeconomic, or insurance status. Thanks to you, we will never take our eyes off of that goal. And thanks to you, we can look forward to a generation of leaders in science and medicine who will be visionary and will challenge medicine's status quo and conventional wisdom. Best wishes to all of you. I hope you achieve your most ambitious aspirations, and I hope you stay in touch so that we can celebrate future milestones together.
Thank you, Dr. Filizzola and Dr. Muller. Congratulations to the MD-PhD class of 2023 of the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai and to their families and loved ones. We are so proud of you and look forward to watching your careers unfold. You are forever a part of the Icahn Mount Sinai family. Please stay on after the formal program to share well wishes in the Zoom. You will have an opportunity to unmute and share anything you'd like live on this special occasion. And now, the 2023 MD-PhD Convocation exercises of the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai are now concluded. Wonderful. So we'll stop sharing and encourage everyone to say anything they want. You can all speak at once, or you can take turns. Go.
A big
Praveen.
congratulations to all the celebrants of today. We want to thank you, the mentors, the organization, the organizers of this event. It was well planned and well clearly understood. We really, really thank you. I congratulate all the graduates today. And a big special congratulations go to Dr. Shokbe Ogutiyo, all the way from Alabama. Congratulations to the parents as well and all the other well-wishers. All the best. May you all go out into the whole world and do the best to make mankind more. Thank you.
Thank you. And we invite you to put your cameras on if you are so inclined. Share anything you like. Wonderful. If our graduates have anything that they want to share with the community at large about how their words of wisdom in this moment, that is also available.
You guys, I just want to say I'm so proud of all of you. You guys have made the experience, just so memorable for me. So, enriched. I, don't think I would have had as much success or as much fun without you guys being there for me, for the camaraderie, for, venting on the group chat about different things and, laughing about other stuff. Really, like, it's, I know everybody here is going to go on to do amazing, great things. And I'm just so honored to, have been part of the class of 2023 with you guys. And please stay in touch. And I know I'll see a few of you guys next year as well at Mount Sinai. So Chopé, let's see who else. Yeah. But yeah, so anyways, congratulations, everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ryan. And if anyone wants to share, we're going to leave this open for another minute and we'll close it. But we are so happy to have this opportunity to celebrate. Oh, did you want to say something? Maybe? Great. We'll give one last chance and then we will end it, but want to congratulate everyone. Anyone wants to jump in? Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, everyone, and congratulations. And we always, you are part of the Mount Sinai family. And so we hope that you'll come back and visit and share all of your successes with us, and we will keep in touch with you. So congratulations, everyone, and to the loved ones and the members of our community, and have a wonderful evening. Thanks, everyone. Good night.